magic. I'm Kara, you probably know that. Thank you for looking into this. Thank you not just on behalf of me, but thank you on behalf of your future self. This is a course that's near and dear to my heart. I've been teaching it for well over a decade and studying for over 2 decades. These tools are the foundational tools that saved my life. I started studying when I was 18 and in a deep, dark clinical depression and having just destroyed my energetic system. I learned through all of this how to heal, how to understand what my own intuitive gifts and psychic abilities were, how to use them for myself for good, how to turn them off so I didn't have to be stuck in the on position all the time and I didn't have to be absorbing the whole world around me just uncontrollably. And then I started to learn, oh, there's ways I can use these gifts and tools throughout my day and my life that are hugely important. And I feel so passionate about this because I really feel like every human being, because we are energetic beings, deserves and needs to have this information. Not everybody wants it, and that's okay, but some of us are really excited about learning it. So there's a few different people who are going to be attracted to this course, and I'm going to kind of tell you because we have different ones here. So we're going to have people in this course, or we always do over all these years, who are really aware that they have gifts and abilities, are using them in some fashion. Maybe they have a real connection to their higher self, or they really listen to their intuition, they know how to tap into that, and they're ready and excited to deepen that connection, their spiritual connection, their gifts and abilities, not just the ones that they know about, but actually like stretch and expand more of them. And if that's not you, don't hang up yet. Don't run off. Hang on, we're coming back for you. If you will fall into this category, you're someone who's looking to do it in a way that's safe, in a way that is grounded and playful and fun, and also can take you to the depth. You want it to be something that builds a foundation so that you can really grow in a solid, supported way. So, the course is for you. Also, the course is for you if this is all brand new to you. I realize that seems strange that we're talking about more advanced and brand new. I promise you that's the way the course is designed. If this is brand new to you, you know nothing about anything I'm talking about, but you're someone who has been called too sensitive, too much, or maybe sometimes too little, too emotional, sometimes empathic, but you've been told all these things, or maybe you tell yourself all these things because just living life and handling the world around you can be really intense. You've always looked at this like it was your kryptonite. It's held you back. It's made things challenging. And it could be different for everybody, but basically maybe something like you go into a room where there's a bunch of people and you can tell something's not right. And then you don't feel right for maybe days after having that experience. Nothing outwardly happened, but you don't feel okay. You meet somebody and have a conversation and like your skin crawls and then you can't shake it for a while. Or you get overwhelmed being around people, just in general. There's a whole bunch of different ways that this can be impacting you. And sometimes it makes you feel weak or like life shouldn't be so hard. It doesn't seem to be so hard for everybody else. Why is it so hard for me? So if you fall into this category in some way, this course is for you. And then there's one more. There's a lot fewer of these, but they are out there and I want to address this. I do get people in my course sometimes who have studied this kind of work and it was up. It didn't go good. They were with a teacher who was kind of energetically inappropriate, did something like unlocked a bunch of their abilities and then just said, here you go, and left them to the wolves. It didn't feel safe. It didn't feel right. They were like, this is no, something wasn't good, and they shut it down. If that's you, you are in the right place. You can tell I have a strong passion about this. It should be very grounded, very safe. There are specific ways to do things, and you need to be safe and protected and taken care of through the process of starting to learn to unlock and harness all of these gifts and abilities that are yours. Can you imagine going through life not knowing that you were a gifted chef? You just kind of never tried. You just assumed, like, well, I don't know how to cook. I never tried. And you just hadn't. And then one day somebody takes you in the kitchen and shows you 3 things. And the next thing you know, you're chopping like you have been doing it your whole life. Or music or sports or something where you just didn't know how naturally gifted you were because you hadn't had somebody just show you the couple of basics. You know, you'd maybe seen a ball thrown around, but you never had somebody actually say, try it like this, and then the next thing you know, you're pitching a home run game. I'm not the greatest at sports analogies. But okay, you get the picture, right? This is what that is like. You have all of these gifts and abilities that you may or may not be aware of. You may or may not be really desiring, consciously desiring, I want to harness these and use them. Or you might just be in a place of, I just want to feel better. I want life to be easier, I want to be happier, and I want to be a lot less affected by the world around me. You're all in the right place. In this course, we're going to learn, it's 16 weeks. We learn a lot. Everything is practice. So I'll be teaching you what we're going to do, why we're going to do it, how it works. I'm a really firm believer in there is the physical reality and the energetic reality. They're really the same, but if you think about them differently, we've got this reality, physical and energetic, and when there's something happening in your life, a problem, you can come at it from either angle to work it. And ideally, you want to be able to come at it from both angles. If you've got a sprained ankle, you want to be able to come at it from the physical angle, like let me wrap it and ice it and do the things. But you also want to be able to come at it from the energetic angle. Why am I spraining my ankle? What's going on here? Oh, I seem to have a fear, as I look a little deeper, of walking forward on my path and I'm literally hobbling myself. Oh, okay. Well, I can energetically soothe this. I can work with this. I can ease it so that I don't keep having these dang sprained ankles. There's so much that is like this. So you're having a conflict in a relationship in your life. None of us have that, right? All the time. You're having this conflict in some relationship in your life, and in the physical reality, we would deal with it by maybe talking to the person or maybe not talking to the person for a while, something like that. In the energetic reality, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do. Do we have some kind of agreement or attachment or something that's unhealthy? Is there a space in between us that needs to be shifted, altered, updated? Energetically, you can go do all of these things. And when you change something in the energetic space, it's really all the same, but when you change something energetically, it catches up physically. Sometimes, often happens the other way too. When you change something physically, it changes energetically, but not always. Sometimes the energetics just causes, kind of like if you've ever had a chiropractic adjustment, think about that like the physical. And then the muscle tension, think about that like the energetics. So if you've had a chiropractic adjustment, you know that a lot of the time, if the muscles are still yanking and pulling, they're just going to pull everything back out of place again. It's the same thing here. So in the physical, we've got something that we just try to fix. We dump that guy who didn't treat us well. But those muscles are still tight. The patterning is still there that got us there in the first place. So we get right back into the next relationship, and guess what happens? So if you can come at it from both angles, and that's what this is all about. This course is about building you one hell of a toolbox so that whatever happens in life, whatever it throws at you, you're like, socket wrench and screwdriver. I got this. You can pull out all of the different tools. When I was first doing this, I made a list of the most common tools. What I would call my teacher hysterical is what would happen, if I'm being honest. I would call my teacher hysterical. I'm not okay, something's wrong, I don't know what's wrong, I'm breaking down. And she would tell me, try this and this, or you've got this going on, your inner child is in full freak out mode, you need to do this exercise, you've got a cord here, you've got a energetic, this thing is, you're stuck in the past, you're all the different things. I made a list at some point finally of what those most common things were. And then when I was in full freak out, which happened a lot because I was kind of a mess at the time, when I would have one of these challenges, we all have them sometimes, I just had a lot of them, I would sit down and I would start going through the list because I wasn't experienced enough to be able to pinpoint what it was yet in the middle of the freak out, which is fine. I would start going down the list and I would get to through maybe one or two, you can imagine if you've got this physical problem in front of you and you're pulling out hammer, no, that didn't do it. Wrench, nope, that didn't do it. Pliers, oh, I needed pliers. So eventually I would hit on the one and I would go from hysterical, inconsolable, shaking, traumatized mess to relief, serene, usually even feeling connected and aligned and joyful again. And I'm talking like this. When I was very first studying and practicing this work, I was dating a wonderful guy, and he was a scientist. So he really had a hard time wrapping his head around what I was doing. He just knew I would go to these meditation classes and learn something, and then I would come back and seem to be happier. So he was like, okay, on board with it. But one day I was in I was losing it. He couldn't figure out what to do. He didn't know how to help me. He finally said, maybe you should meditate. It was like his last ditch, and what else could help? Heaving, sobbing, just couldn't breathe. Sat down on the couch, slumped down really because I was in such despair. And I started going through, I got to maybe 2, and I got to the place where I was okay, and I finally got to the place where I could breathe, and I got to the place where I felt peace. And I had a smile on my face, and I softly opened my eyes, and he was standing at the edge of the hallway looking at me like this. And he said, I don't know what you're doing, but there is no doubt how real it is. In his mind, in his scientific brain, that was proof. He had just watched it. After hours spent trying to figure out how to help me, and me trying to figure out how to help me, in the course of probably 5 minutes, he watched me go from the bottoms of despair to I'm actually feeling pretty peaceful and good, and there's a soft smile naturally on my face. So we go through a lot in this course. The really exciting part is I teach it to you all at once over the 18 weeks, but I'm not going to expect you to get it all at the beginning. Some people get through 2/3 of it and then they just need to digest for a while, or even a little less, and they just got to digest. We do have a break in the middle so you can kind of digest for a while. It's 1 lesson per week. But I want you to be able to use these tools for the rest of your life. So I don't expect you to have them all memorized or every single one be ready and handy to whip out at every moment. Just going through the course is an incredible healing process. We are going to uncover and release so much that it feels a little stuck or trips you up. Oh, no wonder I've always thought this was hard. I've got this little energetic block here. Once we moved it, that feels easy. It's so much fun. I swear to you, I'm really passionate about this. But you get this course forever. As long as I'm teaching it, which will probably be forever, you can take it again for free every single year. It's evergreen. Not only will you have the recordings, you'll have the coursework. There's a whole course booklet you get, and your notes, which I definitely recommend you take. But you can retake the course again. I've had people come back 13 years later and take the course. I have people who take it every single year. It's just a great refresher for them. And every single time you deepen further and further and further, which is why you can take the course as a total beginner. You can take the course when you're really advanced. You will go into whatever level of depth you're going to next. Just like if you were a musician and you began studying with an amazing tutor, you would, what do you call it, a musical tutor? Teacher? Anyway, there's a word, right? So you start studying with a teacher who teaches music, and you're going to get better. Wherever you are when you start with that teacher, when you end, you will have improved, as long as they're worth their salt. So you can look through a little bit of the notes on the curriculum. It may or may not make any sense. It's okay. There's a whole kind of language behind this that you've got to learn so we can speak the same language. If you have questions, please reach out and let's set up a time to get on the phone, because one of my favorite things is learning where you're at, what your experience has been, and then I can explain the ways that Master Your Magic will fit in. And we can decide together if it's a good fit. If it's not a good fit, I will tell you so. But if you've gotten here, you landed on this page, and you watched all the way through this video, there's probably something inside of you, your intuition, that's like poking. It's leaning you this way. In fact, many of you probably landed here and you're not really sure why, or you just felt sort of drawn, or your curiosity was like, what? So reach out, we can talk. If you already know, sign up, let's get started. I've never had somebody be unhappy with this course. I've never had somebody try it and say, well, that was a waste of my time. Ever. So much appreciation for who you are.